Hello and welcome back or welcome to the Riley Brakefield Show. I am your host, Riley Brakefield, the one, the true, the only, also known on the streets as Titties. You know, hey, your boy Titties, that's me. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Sometimes I post on Instagram and TikTok, sometimes I don't. I'm on Twitter daily, tweeting, talking about shit, talking shit, just trying to have fun, trying to have a good life. Find this podcast anywhere, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, whatever you want. This is a podcast that we talk about mostly sports, mostly college football. If I'm being honest, it's my favorite thing to talk about. Sometimes we talk politics, sometimes we don't talk politics, sometimes we talk world issues. Sometimes I try to find the latest pedophile. You name it, we probably do it. We probably talk about it. If it goes on in the world, I'm going to share my opinions. I'm going to share my thoughts. So please like, share, subscribe so I can keep on doing it. Spread the word, whatever you got to do. Like I said, like I said last week, moving to one show a week. On today's show, we're going to start off with some news, hit my top five, hit my one love, one hate, college basketball games I'll probably be betting this weekend and to be watching over the course of next week. And then my thoughts on the Super Bowl, my pick, storylines to follow, legacy, impact, all that fun stuff. So let's just get right into it. Let's start off with what happened last night. Queen James broke the all-time scoring record. I mean, congratulations, I guess. I don't really know what else to say. I don't fucking care. I hate him with every fucking bone and fiber in my body. But I don't know. Quite an amazing feat, quite an accomplishment. I mean, all time, it is crazy, so it's crazy that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar held it for so long, honestly, too. When you think about what his game is, it's just mostly was like around the low block and by the post. And for somebody, to finally pass it is kind of crazy, honestly. But really, I mean, a lot of what LeBron did, passing it is just the longevity. He played as long as Kareem did. Kareem played for 20-some years. He was in the league for so long and produced at such a high level. And we hadn't really seen a whole lot of like that until really LeBron, came around and came into the fold. Crazy, he's all time. He's definitely one of the best. Yeah, I hate to say it, but it truly is true. But whatever, and going from LeBron to another bad teammate, we got Kyrie getting traded to the Mavericks. I think he's making his Mavericks debut tonight against the Clippers at 10 Eastern. That's what ESPN says right now. I'm watching SportsCenter as I record just in case anything crazy happens. I like to talk shit. I like to talk about sports. But Kyrie getting traded to the Mavericks really makes the Mavericks interesting, see how it's going to ebb and flow. They definitely needed somebody else that can score the ball and can facilitate the ball at the same time. I think it's going to be very beneficial to Luka, to take the ball out of his hands so he doesn't have to worry about it all the time. So in that regard, I think it's going to be okay. I think it can work. Both guys are ball dominant guards, but when you really break it down, in a way, it could really be effective for both of them and really have success for the team as a whole. Could be a good move, but, then you got to think about who Kyrie is, what he is as a teammate, all that jazz. He's always talking mad shit about whatever's going on. He might even be fucking a little bit of a Nazi. Who really knows? But just the vibes that he brings, I can see this really working out for, a year, maybe just to close out this season. But other than that, I don't really feel like it might work. I think Kyrie's time in the league is kind of coming to an end. There's too much baggage, he has his own issues on and off the court, it seems, and there's always something that seems to come up. I could see if this doesn't work out well for the Mavericks and for him, being there at the Mavs, I could see him maybe calling it quits and going right off to the sunset, possibly, because I don't know if anyone would want to sign him. But, who really knows, now the Nets, they're in a position where there's talks about trading KD, Ben Simmons isn't going to get traded. Nobody wants him. But I think we're looking at a new age for the Nets, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Durant is gone shortly soon, either trade or free agency. I just don't really see him sticking around at this point. I don't really know what else. Brooklyn has been such a shit show since him and Kyrie got there. I think it's time that they just the Nets and, Kevin Durant, everyone in that situation, they all just part ways and we just let it ride how it's supposed to from here on out. But I think that's really all the NBA news I have for you this week. Let me just double check here. It's kind of actually getting into the fold. I'm paying a little bit more attention. Obviously most of those things are just headline news. But Nick Saban finally got his offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Tommy Rees coming over from Notre Dame. Could turn out to be a good hire. Some people were questioning it. Some people thought it was good. I mean, Tommy Rees has had a decent amount of success the past couple of years at Notre Dame. And when you look at the talent he had at quarterback, he never really had a really good guy like what Alabama can get. So I think this could really pay off. And then they hired Kevin Steele. I don't know too much about Kevin Steele. I forgot to really go take a look at what what his career has entailed for him. I believe he was a defensive coordinator at Auburn for quite some time, but not too positive on that. So that's interesting. Obviously the Auburn-Alabama rivalry, Kevin Steele already being a part of that. Let's see. Let's take a look here. His coaching history at DC at Auburn for 4 years, interim head coach after they fired what's his nuts, But he was around Alabama quite often actually. 07, 08, defensive coordinator, inside linebacker coach, director of player personnel, linebacker coach. So he's definitely familiar with the system. So I definitely think this is the hire that'll probably pay off the best is probably Kevin Steele. If I would be very surprised if it didn't work out for them. Already being familiar with the system, I'd be more concerned about the Tommy Rees hire, not having that chemistry, not having the knowledge of how Saban likes to run his programs for the most part. Could be kind of, a little bit of like a learning curve, and I don't even know if that's the right word. I think it might be, but there's probably some sort of learning curve, I think, that'll probably happen there, but I think that it'll turn out to be a really good hire in the long run. Brian Schottenheimer, now the OC for the Cowboys. Only reason I'm really talking about that is because I saw this tweet from Roger Sherman on Twitter. He said, "It is once again time for me to tweet the Brian Schottenheimer career summary." And when you look at this, you're like, why is this guy still in the league? Okay, 2001 quarterback coach of the Redskins, 28th ranked offense. Absolutely garbage. That's what? 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. Bottom 5 offense in the NFL, right? Quarterbacks coach. So he still has a huge part in that, helps in the quarterback development. So that definitely didn't help. Then he goes on to be the quarterback coach at the San Diego Chargers where Drew Brees was. This is the one point in Drew Brees' career where he didn't look like a Hall of Famer. I mean, the Chargers ended up moving on from him. He goes and signs with the Saints, rest is history. But really, it was just a terrible time in his career. Nothing seemed to be going his way. Everyone thought it was pretty much over. He had shoulder issues, yada, yada, yada. But was it just Brian Schottenheimer? Probably. Then 2006 to 2011, at some point they get Brett Favre in there. He's the offensive coordinator of the Jets at this point. They get Brett Favre in there at some point. They barely just missed the playoffs. And then they have Mark Sanchez at quarterback. And they had an amazing defense, but they just couldn't ever elevate to the next level. And they made 2 AFC championship games, but, the quarterback play was always questionable. You have a good offensive coordinator in there, a good quarterbacks coach in there. There's a real good chance that maybe the Jets, make a Super Bowl those 2 years. Then he becomes offensive coordinator of the St. Louis Rams between 2012 and 2014. What do we have? 20th, 21st offenses those 3 years, so nothing special, below average, so nothing really special at all. Then he becomes offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Georgia. Offense was absolutely garbage. They finished 86th in offense in the country that year and pretty much got Mark Richt fired, point blank period. And then after 2015, 2016, 2017, he becomes the quarterback coach of the Colts. I mean, their offenses were absolutely garbage. There's nothing that says anything about the 2016 season, but 2017, 30th offense, so absolutely horrible. He then becomes the offensive coordinator of the Seahawks and pretty much didn't let Russ cook, might have ruined Russell's career. And then he became the passing game coordinator and quarterback coach under Urban Meyer in Jacksonville in the year 2021. We all know how that went. Worst offense in the fucking country. Absolutely fucking horrible. They were just god-awful, the Jaguars were. So the fact that this guy is still an offensive coordinator in the NFL doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. It seems like he's definitely had his opportunities, and it doesn't seem like it works out. So favoritism, nepotism, whatever the case is, something weird is going on there for him to still be an offensive coordinator, still be getting a high-profile job like that in the NFL. Basically, what I'm saying is if you're a Cowboys fan, you better not. You better expect some shitty years next couple of years. So, Super Bowl ads are going to cost about $7 million this year. And the only reason I'm really talking about Super Bowl ads is because I keep seeing them all over Twitter, TikTok, all those places. I always thought that they were supposed to come out on the Super Bowl, not actually, on the internet. So I thought that was kind of weird. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but whatever. Aaron Rodgers doing his 4-day retreat, going to do a little DMT, figure out if he wants to play football, and of course you have all the fucking old heads, all the tough guys, all the people that don't understand that drugs are actually good for you and that you should probably stop drinking alcohol and stop drinking your life away and probably do drugs. That just makes a lot of sense, but these old heads, they just don't quite get that. Everyone's shitting on him. I think it's a great idea. Fuck it, who cares? I think it's cool to have somebody in the NBA who embraces stuff like that, and it's something that I want to try. I've been told that once you do DMT, you kind of figure out your purpose in life. I feel like that's fucking required for everybody because I still don't fucking know what my purpose in life is. I think it's this podcast, but I only got like 10 followers, so maybe it's not this podcast. But I don't know. I think it's cool. Whatever. Not that big of a deal. If you make it a big deal, you're kind of a fat fucking pussy, probably. So whatever. New York school system was getting some heat over the weekend because on the first day of Black History Month, they decided to serve all of the children chicken waffles and watermelon. That's pretty much what racism is right there. So shout out to New York school system for continuing racism, even when it doesn't need to be there. So shout out to New York school system. One little cool tidbit of news that I saw was Chinese scientists, leave it to China, right? Have cloned 3 super cows that can produce an unreal amount of milk. So, just astronomical numbers, they say. Unusually high amounts was the word they used. So, obviously, this would allow for more milk production, I guess is the correct word that I'm looking for. There's if this works out and there's no health issues or nothing that turns out to be wrong with the cow's milk, I could see this being somebody, they're going to fucking start shipping these cows off to get fucked and all sorts of shit, and they're going to become the next wave of cows and produce more milk throughout the world. So, could be a good thing. Who knows? Spy balloon. I got to talk about it. I don't really know too much about it, but absolutely weird. We had a fucking Chinese spy balloon going throughout the U.S. over the week, or over the course of whatever the fuck it was, the weekend. I don't really remember when that was. Wild shit. Kind of scary when you think about it, and the fact that it just kind of floated across the United States, and to find out there's been a bunch more of these. Just weird, just odd to me. I don't really know what the point of it is, but who really knows? I just don't like it. That's for sure. And a new policy has been introduced in British Columbia, Canada. One of the providences that adults over the age of 21, obviously, in possession of 2.5 grams of heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine, fentanyl, meth, ecstasy, you name it, won't be arrested. So if you have 2.5 grams of a substance like that, you won't be arrested. Partially, I think that's okay. I would like to see a world where maybe we stop getting rid of the arrests and jail time for these people that are convicted of drug crimes like that. I think it would be better to start sending people to rehab, start sending people to treatment centers, not putting them in jail, filling up our jail system, putting people in there that aren't getting the rehab or necessary care that they need to hopefully change and be a better human, not be addicted to those drugs, find better coping mechanisms. You're locked up in a jail cell. That ain't gonna do shit for you, ain't gonna do no good. You're gonna get out, you're gonna go do the same shit again. It's very rare that somebody goes into jail and comes out a better person. A lot of times it happens, a lot of times it doesn't though. So my personal opinion, I think it'd be good to stop having stupid little petty arrests like that for stupid amounts. You're ruining your life with those drugs, but at the same time, why fill up our jails? Why fill up, I know this isn't Canada, but I think it's definitely something that might have to be introduced here into America. I know Oregon's got some type of thing kind of similar to that as well. But that's all the news I got, all the things that tickled my interest over the week, everything I wanted to talk about. So let's move on to my top 5. This week, my top 5 is top 5 ways for the world to end. Me and my wife started watching Walking Dead, kind of gave me this idea of the best apocalypses to try to live through, try to keep yourself alive. And I'm at a fucking disadvantage right out the gate. If an apocalypse ever happens, I got fucking type 1 diabetes. How am I supposed to survive that? If I don't got medicine or food, I'm fucked. But you know what? I'm going to fight till the very end. I got enough medicine, at home to last me a while, but I more than likely would die like 3 to 4 months within the apocalypse. So I wouldn't live. Don't come to me. I won't ever be able to help you. I don't know if anyone would, but whatever. Anyways, my top 5 ways to die if for the my top 5 ways for the world to end or apocalypse or whatever you want to call it. Number one's obviously zombies. Zombies would be super fun to try to live through. I think it would be fun personally, just because they just be fucking out here taking target practice because they're so fucking. As long as they're like not World War Z zombies, I think it could be doable, manageable. But if it's like World War Z zombies, dude, fuck that, bro. That would be fucking treacherous. I would, I'd shoot myself in the head probably. I'm not gonna lie. Number two has to be aliens. I'd love to see aliens. I know that they're real. I know that they're out there. So I think that'd be fun to live through an alien apocalypse, trying to fight off aliens, trying to kill aliens. Really into type of killing, just because I've always wondered. I can't obviously join the military with my type 1 diabetes, but I've always wondered if I would be able to defend myself in like a situation of war. I feel like aliens would give me that opportunity. I probably would die with it like in my first encounter, just because I'm kind of a big fat pussy, but I'm not. So we'll just see. Number three being nuclear war, just because at that point everyone would probably die. So like we'd all be happy, I think. So it's not really that big of a deal. I think deep down everyone wants to die in some certain way. You want to try to live as long as you can, but like everybody's depressed. So number four would have to be asteroids. It'd be kind of cool seeing asteroids just flying down into the United States, just fucking blowing shit up, just fucking seeing it on the news, watching them through the sky and just being like, well, fuck, here we go. I think that would be a fun one. My number five best way for the apocalypse, is if dragons, come back from, the Earth's core, like where they've been hidden for the past, thousands of years. If they just decide to make a reappearance through that Antarctic tunnel that we all know about, they just reappear, and then we just have like fucking dragons flying everywhere. We're trying to fight them, dude. We're fucking shooting missiles at them. Would be fucking badass. So those are my top 5 ways for the world to end. This week for one love, one hate, let's do it. I'm loving on the gym, man. I've been going to the gym a lot lately. I had talked, I think a while ago, when I went to the hospital and stuff before that, I was taking this medicine. I was really helping with some weight loss, really helping with my diabetes. I was kind of more serious about working out. Stuck on that path even after I got sick, no longer taking that medicine. I've really been enjoying the gym, man. It's really given me a lot of mental focus, been helping my mental health out. I always see these things, people talking about how important it is, to be physically fit, and I really think that's true. I really think that it's helped me mentally, physically, emotionally in a lot of ways, just being able to kind of get that aggression out, get a good workout in, feel good about myself, all those things. So this week I'm really loving on the gym because I think it's a great thing for anybody, and I really think that it's really helped me mentally and kind of start to figure out who I want to be, kind of just everyday life, I don't know. I'm kind of stumbling over my words here, but I don't really know how to articulate this too well, but just something about the gym. I think it's good for everyone. Physical health is important. I mean, that's one of the main causes of why so many people died during COVID, and nobody wants to admit it. But I think it's beneficial, and I think that it can really do a lot of good things for a lot of people, and really it helped me. So why not recommend it? Just like I was talking about reading, I'm trying to live my life better, trying to, not be so caught up in what's going on with the world, not on my phone all the time, not always watching TV, just trying to find other ways to enjoy what we have in front of us, which is life. So I love the gym. Just put it there. But this week, I'm hating on our world as a whole. I'm just sick and tired of so many things, man. The violence, let's start there. The violence is consistent. Every day you look at the news, somebody just got shot, somebody got killed, some kid got stolen. There's an assault. A professional athlete assaulted his wife again, or assaulted his girlfriend. Those 5 cops that killed that black guy in Memphis, like they're black too. Like why does this violence continuously happen? Like what is wrong with us as a society where we feel the need to take life from somebody for most of the time, absolutely fucking no reason? And then you get into the politics of it all, and it's like, why are the politicians consistently trying to divide us and not trying to come together? I mean, I'll talk right now. Joe Biden made a tweet the other day about the national sales tax and blatantly, flat out lied. I don't like the new tax plan, but he says that, the Republicans are pushing for a 30% national sales tax that would absolutely destroy American families and all this. But what he fails to tell you in this tweet is that it's actually 23%, and that income tax at the federal and state level will be absolutely eliminated. So you'd be keeping that money in your pocket. No income tax whatsoever. I don't like the plan, and I don't think that it's beneficial for us as American people, but you can't sit here and blatantly lie without giving people all the information that is present in that argument. And I consistently see this on a daily basis from both sides of the political line, constantly trying to divide us, constantly trying to push their narrative. How about we just start pushing the narrative that allows for change, that allows for growth, that allows for conversation, and it's not my way or the highway. It's consistent. It's always people arguing about the left and the right. Who's better? Who's the worst one? You're all fucking terrible. Every fucking human being, it seems nowadays, is horrible. The violence, the constant divide, everything is about race these days. Why? Who fucking cares what color you are? Who fucking cares what fucking gang you're a part of? We're all people. We should all be working together to make this place better and livable. And we should fucking get off of social media. We should fucking stop sitting behind a screen and arguing, man. I constantly see this thing, and I don't give a shit if you're gay, if you want to change to a dick or a vagina or whatever the fuck you want to be. But it's not normal for people to be gay. It's not normal for people to have gender identity issues. There's a clip that I always see that goes around that talks about how when you put animals in a zoo, they self-harm, they become gay, homosexual, and they masturbate at an increased rate. Look at what our world is today. It's fucking depression, it's fucking porn, it's fucking all these horrible things that just drive you into a state of sad depressiveness because you don't have what somebody else has. Like all these gender identity issues, that shouldn't be a thing. That's not normal. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit what you do with your life, and I have no problem with it. But it's not normal. And everyone knows that deep down. You know it's not normal. Our world is just an endless pit of despair and fucking poverty and depression. And there's nothing good hardly anymore in what our world is. It's constant. You watch the news, it's constant this and that. And these people were killed. These people were shot. Like, when is it going to end? When are we going to wake up and realize that life is short and it ain't that serious? We don't need to sit here online. We don't need to sit here in our day-to-day lives and argue about stupid, petty little shit that doesn't really matter. As long as you're, as a person, are happy and the people around you are happy, nothing else should matter. Nothing else should matter. No one should die for stupid reasons. No one should argue about stupid stuff that really doesn't ever affect them. Like, why are we wasting our time? I just don't get it, and I don't think I'll ever get it, but our world is an absolute fucking disgusting pit of misery anymore. And I hope that it changes. I really want to change. I want to be someone that helps change. I want to be someone that helps bring people together. But you gotta let stuff go and just live your life. Because it ain't that fucking serious. It really isn't. Your skin color doesn't matter. Who you have sex with doesn't matter. Whether you want to keep a child or not, doesn't matter. If you're a good person to me, that's all that fucking matters. All the other shit can go out the fucking door at this point. It's a sad world we live in. And the people that are at the face of it, our politicians, our celebrities, the people that we look up to, that thousands of millions of people think actually know what regular people go through on a daily basis. You can't tell me it's not weird that all fucking 3,000 million or fuck however many people there are all align on one fucking side of the political aisle. That doesn't make sense. Never will make sense. Take a fucking good look in the mirror and realize that our world is not good. All those conspiracy theories you hear about might be real. We got bad people in charge of our world, and that fucking shit needs to change because it never, ever is going to get better because they're constantly going to push the narrative that it's black against white, straight versus gay, guns and no guns. Nothing's ever going to change. And once you realize that, maybe things will start to change. But what do I know? I just got fucking 10 podcast listeners. Now that I'm done ranting and raving, let's talk a little bit of college basketball. Games that are tickling my interest this weekend. First up, Saturday, pretty loaded slate. 7 games that I'm looking at here. First up, West Virginia versus Texas. West Virginia's got a big game tonight. Should be kicking off shortly. They got Iowa State coming to town. They're favored to win that game. West Virginia really looking, I talk about them here a little bit later as well. Big game against Texas. They pull off an upset tonight against Iowa State. Iowa State's ranked 11th. Would be a really big win for them there. Then if they can keep that momentum going to Texas on Saturday and get the win, really be looking at really building their tournament resume. We'll see though. Texas can really score the ball and they can defend pretty well. But I really just am interested. If West Virginia blows out Iowa State tonight, I might fucking ride West Virginia on Saturday. Not sure, but that's really what I'm looking for. If West Virginia really dominates Iowa State, really plays good, and yes, they're a lot better at home than they are on the road, but I really think some momentum can really start rolling their way, and they might be a sneaky team to do good in the Big 12 tourney, or even get a shot at making the tournament. So definitely going to be a good game. Kansas, Oklahoma. We've seen Oklahoma have ups and downs this year, and when they're shooting, they're unbeatable. And showing up for big games. They did that against Alabama earlier this season. I could see them. I'm really feeling like they're going to do it again on Saturday. Show up and show out and actually put on a really good performance. So I'm probably going to rock Oklahoma on Saturday. Honestly, I bet that Kansas will be favored, but Oklahoma to me just feels like a really good pick. Auburn, Alabama. Auburn obviously been having some struggles. Alabama really trying to lock up a 1 seed here to finish out the season. Renewing this rivalry, the Iron Bowl in basketball. It's never really as big, but both these teams have been better over the past couple of years. So gonna have a lot of energy around this game. Gonna be in Auburn. Auburn's not ranked anymore. I really do think Auburn could win this game, but at the same time, the way that Alabama's been playing makes me question everything. Alabama's one of the best teams in the country. They're going to lock up a 1 seed. I know they will. I think they're just going to blow Auburn out of the water. Rivalry game. Auburn's been up and down the past couple weeks, but Alabama's been pretty consistent. So I'd be very surprised if they blew that one. UConn, been slipping. They're ranked 21 right now in the country. After their hot start to the season, they've kind of been really up and down. Once Big East play really got going, and Creighton is unbeatable at home. I really thought Xavier a couple weeks ago was going to take them down, but they didn't. So I think Creighton's going to win this one at home easy. I'm sure they're going to be favored by probably almost 4 to 5 points. But I'd be very surprised if they lost that one. Rutgers and Illinois. Rutgers, coming in, number 24 in the country, had a big win against Michigan State over the last weekend. I really think they'll probably take care of business. Illinois is a scary team. I don't know what the line's going to be because I don't know too much about either of these teams. I do like Rutgers in this game, however. So I think, as long as the line is in their, if the line's in their favor, I'd take anything up to 3.5. If it's not in their favor, I'd take whatever it is. Whatever it is, I feel like they're going to win. I feel like if they're not going to win, they're going to keep it within 2 points at a minimum, So I really like Rutgers in that game. Duke and Virginia as well. Duke got the big win against North Carolina over last weekend. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. We beat Coach K in his last fucking home game, and we beat him in the semifinals, so I don't give a shit about what Duke does right now. Going against Virginia, though, Virginia ranked 8th in the country, been really good, really consistent all year. Obviously had that slip up against Virginia Tech last week, but the odds had that one going. Everyone knew that was going to happen. So I really like Virginia in this game. I think that they should tear it up and win pretty easily. I just don't trust Duke so much. I mean, they're really coming into their own right now, but I don't trust them that much to really put on a good performance. And Virginia at home, really good defensively, really been playing good all year. Don't see them slipping at this point. Baylor, TCU, probably the biggest game this weekend on Saturday. Both these teams sitting in the top 20 range. Baylor's at 14 and TCU's at 17. So I don't really know. I really like the over in this one. TCU at home. Baylor can score. Baylor can defend pretty well. Both teams can really play offense and defense. So I really like the points here, though. Probably 140 to 150 range feels good. Anything over 150 is risky in my opinion. So I'll probably rock the over there on Saturday. A couple games to watch over the course of the week. Monday has 3 good games I really like. Miami, North Carolina. Miami's been playing really good. North Carolina's been not playing good. They've lost 2 in a row now. I don't know when they play their next one. Sorry, I had to itch my throat. But this is a game that North Carolina really needs back at home. They really need to get on the right track. I think they're still looking like they'll make the tournament, but a big win against a top 20 team like Miami would really solidify their resume and for sure probably put them into the tournament no matter what. So I think that's a really important game for North Carolina on Monday. Texas Tech, obviously talked about Texas earlier, with their game against West Virginia. I up in the air about that one. But Texas, if they win here on Saturday, would be really big for them. And then playing Texas Tech, though, I don't like Texas going into Texas Tech. This game is at Texas Tech. I don't like Texas going into Texas Tech with the loss. Texas Tech's still really trying to fight for a tournament spot. They have a ton of talent. They just had a really up and down year. They haven't been able to score the ball a lot, but they can defend at an elite level. So in this one, I'll probably take Texas Tech if Texas loses this weekend. And if Texas wins, I'll be indifferent about it and just kind of go whatever way the line is saying. Then Monday, like I was saying, West Virginia, obviously big game against Iowa State, big game against Texas. And then, if they win those two, then they'd be going into Baylor on Monday night with the Baylor team. They just had a big win against TCU or a close loss, in my opinion. Should be a close game there. With a real opportunity to really put themselves into the tournament. That would be 3 straight wins against top 20 teams at a minimum. Because if Baylor loses to TCU, I don't see them falling out of the top 20. So that would be 3 straight wins. Could be a really big, important game. Even if West Virginia goes 1-1 in those two, get 2-1 in this stretch would be huge for them. Really put some big wins on their resume. So very, 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 very important for West Virginia these next 3 games. Tuesday, Creighton, Providence. Like I said, Creighton's probably going to win at home. Hitting the road, though, they're not the best team on the road. Providence, can really score the ball with Bryce Hopkins. I will more than likely take Providence on Tuesday night, no matter what happens to Creighton on Saturday. Then Wednesday, we're sitting with 3 top 15 matchups right now at this point. Obviously, things could change. Alabama, Tennessee being the first one, 3-6. Alabama could lose to Auburn. You never know. Crazy shit could happen there. Tennessee, I don't imagine will lose this weekend, but that should be a huge game going into Wednesday. SEC seeding, also tournament, 1 seed, 2 seed implications. So huge game to watch on Wednesday. Then Xavier, Marquette. Marquette has worked themselves up into the top 10 team right now. They're playing unbelievable basketball. I'm not sure who these two play this weekend. I think they had some easy games. That's why I wasn't talking about them. But Wednesday could be a really big opportunity in the Big East. Fighting for first, second place, I believe, in the Big East. Also tournament seeding. This is the point in the season when you want to try to win all these big games and win out, in all honesty, so that you can secure yourself as high of a seed as possible. Last note about college basketball here. Wednesday night, TCU, Iowa State. Big game, Iowa State. I know they have another game this weekend. I can't remember who it was. Somebody that I thought they could beat, I'm pretty sure. But, big game against West Virginia tonight. They lose that'd be very detrimental to their ranking and seeding. And TCU, if they lose to Baylor over the weekend, this game could really mean a lot on Wednesday in terms of Big 12 seeding, tournament seeding, all that jazz, falling out of the top 25 possibly for Iowa State if they have a couple blunders here. So really, really important game. I really like TCU in that. Well, it's at Iowa State, and Iowa State's been really good at home and really good defensively at home. So I probably would take the under for sure in that game, especially if it's under, if it's sitting above 130, anything above 130, definitely take the under. Anything around 115 to 120, I would take the over probably on that. But definitely under 130. Or definitely over, if it's over 130, definitely take the under. Okay, there we go. Now for a little Super Bowl preview talk here, just talking a couple storylines, give out my pick here. One of the bigger storylines, Andy Reid obviously used to coach the Eagles. He's going for a second Super Bowl here. Not something that's been done by a lot of head coaches. He's been in the league. He's had a lot of longevity. I really, really, would like to see him not win another Super Bowl. I'm picking the Eagles to win this game. I really am. I think the Eagles will probably take care of business. I don't trust where the Chiefs are physically. I don't trust what they have offensively. Not having those go-to wide receivers like they have in the past, only having Travis Kelce. Eagles should be able to take advantage of that and really just double team Kelce the whole game. Should work out in your favor. Then you talk about the other coach, Nick Sirianni, going for his first Super Bowl win, second year, really big, really big deal. Like I said, the Eagles are going to win. I saw that tweet, Eagles are going to win. Not going to talk about that much. Then obviously probably the biggest storyline that everyone's beaten to your head already if you've followed any Super Bowl media is just the Kelce brothers. It's cool, awesome for their parents, awesome opportunity for both of them to get the chance to win their second Super Bowl and against each other, It's going to be awesome for those two, unreal environment for them. We'll just see what happens. But really cool, just really cool all around. And then you look at the quarterback legacy talk, that's always going to be big. Mahomes going for Super Bowl #2 would put him in some elite company. I mean, Peyton Manning, Eli, Tom Brady, Big Ben, all these guys that got 2 Hall of Famers like Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw, Aikman, all those guys that have won a couple Super Bowls, put him in some elite company. Everyone, he's already gone down as one of the greats, really. He's been unreal since he's been in the league, but really big for him, really big opportunity to solidify a lot more of his legacy and continue building. Losing another Super Bowl might be a little detrimental to it, but hey, what are you going to do? And then for Jalen Hurts, getting his first ring and only his second year as a starter, third year with the team would be a really big accomplishment for him. So, that would really set his career up. And, I don't know. We'll see, because when we talk about the future of these teams, I really don't see a lot for the Eagles in store. I don't think that they're going to be a great dynasty the next couple of years. Kelsey's going to walk out the door soon. Fletcher Cox is going to walk out. A lot of older guys that have really put in some years, big contracts. They're going to have to pay Jalen Hurts at some point. They're paying A.J. Brown. They're going to have to pay Devontae Smith. So I really think this is their best opportunity to win a Super Bowl, and I think they will. Like I said, I'm rocking with the Eagles on this one. So this is really important because I think that championship window is going to close a lot faster than people realize for them. And then for the Chiefs, getting back is going to be a fucking tough one. Getting back to the Super Bowl year in, year out is going to be tough when you look at what the AFC has. I mean, you got Joe Burrow, you got Josh Allen, you got Trevor Lawrence, who made leaps and bounds this year. You got Justin Herbert, who's an unreal quarterback. Sean Payton just joined Russell Wilson in Denver. That's very serious. Who's going to be the Raiders quarterback? They have a ton of talent on that team. Can Josh McDaniels figure it out? The Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, if he's healthy, they were unreal this year. The Jets, who knows what they're going to do at quarterback? Could get Aaron Rodgers, could get fucking Derek Carr. Anything would be better than what they had. I mean, there's so many teams. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson, the fucking Colts. If they just get a quarterback, they could be unreal with what that roster is as a whole. So getting back to the Chiefs is going to be very difficult in the future. It's always going to be difficult for whoever comes out of the AFC. But, it's not going to be guaranteed that they're going to get back here. So for them, that window might be closing as well. So who really knows? It's just really important for both these teams to get a chance to hoist that ring. But we'll see. But that's today's show. I enjoyed you listening. I hope you're going to take some of my good gambling advice. I hope you enjoyed my ranting and raving and all of the things that I do. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Send to somebody that is a Chiefs or Eagles fan, just so they can wait till the end to hear my pick. But anyways, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. But for now, your boy Titties is out.